Hello and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. I'm Luce and I'm here. I can't go too late tonight, so I figure I should probably do something I've been neglecting for a while, and that's finish off the Master Role quest. Basically, for every expansion starting at Shadowbringer, rather than have an individual job quest each time, the game has role quests. So I'm a melee DPS as Reaper, so I have a special one there. Tank has their own, healers has their own, casters have their own, that sort of thing. But after you complete them all, they eventually add what's known as a Master Role quest, where everything comes together and they complete the little story that they had going. So far, we're fighting members of the Passage of the Unbound, a group that was dedicated to stealing artifacts in Tyrol and using them somewhere in Eorzean areas, or previous expansion areas, to wreak havoc. Mostly my complaint about them before was that it seemed kind of a bit difficult to decide if it wanted them to be comedic, like Team Rocket style. Like, the healer one was, dare I say, actually genuinely funny at some points. But others, like the melee DPS one, it felt like it was trying to be a lot more serious, but then a guy gets knocked out by being stared at really hard. Likewise, the caster one had a really cool thing about a guy using propaganda to make himself seem like a great hero, but the way he defeated enemies was by making rocks spawn out of nowhere and drop on people, which is a bit funny. Tank one was really good, though. The main villain, she was using it to humiliate the knights by making them fall asleep on the job. There was definitely danger there, but it felt reasonable for the motivation there, so it was probably the best one, I'd say. But now we need to deal with their leader. With their biggest crime being that they went to the restaurant, discussed their evil plans, and didn't buy any food. They just left. Those bastards! Rolmajin has tidings about an old adversary. This was technically added well over a patch ago, so my gears probably outstrips it a good amount now, but whatever. I've been mostly... Coda, good to see you. I was hoping you'd pay us a visit. The Landsguard received word from the various nations you visited in your search for treasures and requested we inform you of the latest tidings. They also sent their earnest gratitude for your efforts. It seems each of the 5 criminals is brought into custody, although some had to be tracked down after you trounced them. They now await the judgments of the respective governments they've wronged. Well, I guess it's good that Team Rocket finally got arrested. All that, though, was all well until I heard some customers saying the Passage of the Unbound has new leaders. Oh boy, don't tell them I've got to go through that again. The shop was so busy I couldn't find a chance to speak with them before they left, but I was compelled to report what I heard of the Landsguard. It was a sombering reminder that as long as their leader, Apiahi, is free. I think this is the first time we see her face. Free, she can rebuild and scheme again. Yeah. I think this is the first time we directly saw her face, or it might have been hinted at before, because I know when you first see it, it's hidden, shrouded in shadow. You must have learned the group's organization's working during search. Do you remember anything that might help us find out what she's up to? Each of the leaders here were carefully selected from different regions and went after different pieces there. I see, so there's a method to recruitment. Stands to reason she might rely on it again. The Landsguard also dug up information. One of those apprehended of the Passage of the Unbound received their funds from a shady mercantile outfit located in Ul'dah. I have an idea. If she's really recruiting new members, we could feign interest to get cause to her. True, you're just a bartender. I doubt too many people would, remember them. You might be onto something. We even know a man she's never had the pleasure of meeting, Coda. Huh? I'm the one who stopped her plans. Surely she'll know. I know we're asking a law, but any information you extract should be further. What do you say? All desperate times call for desperate measures. I suppose it's also safer that I do it, because if a fight breaks out, the bartender's not going to do much. We're grateful. A small warning, however. We know 5 treasures were stolen, but there could be any more. Whatever you do, don't treat her lightly. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if she stole one before it even all started. I suggest finding out what power she has at her disposal and what her goals are before you make your move. Which reminds me, those you aided are most eager to see Apyahi apprehended. We'll tell you you're hot on our trail. For now, why not travel to Old Dawn and ask around? Perhaps our quarries already tried to recruit the disillusioned. Yeah, sure, use one of these. Alright, we took out Giovanni, so now it's our job to get rid of Team Rocket's... we took out Team Rocket, so now it's our job to go after Giovanni. Shouldn't be too hard, and the Pokemon you're able to defeat him pretty easily, just because he uses a type that's weak to, honestly, most of the starters, so... he's not nearly as threatening as he's supposed to be in canon, I think. Granted, he does also learn the error of his ways and leave. Or at least that would have been the nice end, if not for the fact that Pokemon can't seem to resist bringing back Generation 1. I haven't played a Pokemon game proper in over 10 years, I'm going to be honest with you folks, but I still keep tabs on stuff, and like Ultra Sun and Moon having a Pokemon villain was pretty cool, until I found out, oh, it's because Team Rainbow Rocket's behind everything. Rainbow Rocket? Ah, yes, they're all run by... They're all from different universes where the team leaders all won their respective victories. Oh, cool. They're led by Giovanni. Well, that's because only he could possibly unite them. Last I checked, Giovanni leads by fear, not by charisma. Actually, even that, thinking about it, even that doesn't really work now that I think about it, because remember, Gen 4, Cyrus, Team Galactic's leader, the dude has a straight-up god complex. The whole reason he wants the legendary Pokemon in that version is because he wants to become the god of a new universe. I mean, most of the time, in most versions of the story, you have to stop him because what he plans would destroy the current universe, but in some versions, he doesn't have to do that. He just creates a new one, he leaves through a portal, and is never seen again. And that technically is him winning, because he doesn't care about the current universe, he just wants his own universe with blackjack and hookers. Which is kind of goofy, because remember, Team Galactic could have easily just, pooled their resources and bought a private island or an aircraft carrier, made their own country like that, but no, he wanted his own universe to himself. And yet, you expect me to believe he'd bow down to a gangster leader? And of course, Archie and Maxie, Team Gen 3's Team Magma and Team Aqua, they genuinely all thought they were the good guys. Archie and Maxie thought that the lack of land or lack of water would solve the world's resource problems without realizing the problem with removing all of one or the other. So, while they are evil, to themselves, they are heroes trying to save the world, so why would they work with someone who's blatantly evil? I'm sure there's reasons don't get me wrong, I'm sure some of you are even thinking, oh, there's a few ways you could explain that, but I think that's not really the point. The point is, they started from everyone's gonna be led by Giovanni, and have completely ignored the scope of it. It's probably for the best that was before... Actually, I was going to say, was that with Lysander? I don't remember if Lysander was before or after, honestly. I'm sorry. I genuinely don't remember. But Lysander was just to kill literally everybody. That was his goal. Even his own team wasn't aware of how far he was going to take it with the Doomsday device, so that'd be a little goofy. But yeah, that's kind of well, then again, I guess that kind of also shows how far the Pokemon scope came since the first games. Giovanni was just a glorified gangster leader. A Yakuza, I guess, would be the more accurate one. But then we have the... ones that are a lot more developed from that. I mean, gangsters would probably, even gangsters would probably say, creating a new universe or blowing up the entire world is probably above our pay grade. Perturbed woman. I don't know of the name, but I do know of a strange man. Every day he stands aloof, staring at passersby with dead eyes. Last I saw of him, he was near the market board. Oh, my stomach churns to imagine he might be there. Yeah, you better not be. I've still gotta buy stuff from there later. Sibold. Villains who wish to topple nations of the world. I'm afraid I haven't heard of such a group, but there's no shortage of complaints about the Sultanate. Most of the commoner gripes about market fees. To hear the merchants tell it, every one of them is a single bad bargain away from empty coin purse. I can't say that would go as far as treason, though. Yeah, that's Syndicate and Sultanate have a better relationship thanks to the events of the story, but it's still got a level of strain to it, so... not much we can do there. But yeah, Pokemon has a habit of shilling the Gen 1 stuff whenever they need to default. It's why people memed over when, what were the ones that took place? What was Sword and Shield from? Yeah, basically the main rival there had a Charizard, but Charizard was the only Gen 1 Pokemon there completely, but he was, so, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't played a proper Pokemon game myself in over a decade. I've just been watching Let's Plays by streamers I like and such. So... Truth be told, probably wouldn't have even been bothered by that particular champion if Charizard wasn't specifically for no other reason than to shill the Gen 1 stuff. Look, I get that's going to be most people's first introduction to the series, but, yeah. Throwing away everything else just to appease that's just going to cause other problems. It's why Yu-Gi-Oh! The original fans of Yu-Gi-Oh! I believe they're called Yugi Boomers. Are made fun of like how the Gen 1ers for Pokemon, basically. Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Also loves to shill the Duel Monsters Arrow. And yeah, it does make sense. Ones like Dark Magician and the Blue Eyes White Dragon are basically the closest thing the series has to mascots, so it makes sense they'd get a bit of special treatment here and there, but a lot of support and stuff later goes specifically for stuff from the first series and franchises from there, even though there's plenty of popular ones from later ones. Though I guess GX does get lucky, like the hero archetype is so huge you'd take a week to do an entire worth of dissertations to explain everything that's on there, so not all of them are, but most aren't that lucky. Like, if you're a fan of Ancient Gears, the ones from the same GX era, good luck. Those only got any reasonable expansions, because a later series used them by villains again. It's got a bit of support since, but it's nowhere near the level of others. Landbert. Shifty-eyed blokes, more than usual, you mean? Just so happens a strange man tried to strike up conversation, said he'd like eagerly. I asked how eagerly I'd give those bastards in brass blades a piece of my mind. He invited me to a gathering of people who sought true freedom. I don't like the smell of it. Hence you find me here. It seems suspicious man is connecting all these disgruntled citizens. Perhaps he could get his attention, show angry near the market boards. Oh, not that one. This one. I'm sure this won't embarrass me. Oh. I have to not be, Oh, it has to be right here. Damn it, I wasted so much money. I can't afford Return to Oblivion anymore. You there, mind bending an ear? We already ran into a member who had disguise, but I guess I can't power, so I doubt that's hers, but we can't discount the possibility she could have duplicates in some fashion. I sense you are a kindred spirit, one who's tired of being trampled by the high and mighty. I think there's a place for you in our organization, the Passage of the Unbound. You might have heard tell of mysterious artifacts used to incite unrest across the world. That's our doing. The oppressed are finally striking back to win the freedom of those that took us. Alright, this explains the ranged physical storyline, where the dude was convinced he was a savior to save or who wanted to restore everyone, only to reveal at the end that he was just a scared child. Couldn't cope with the the idea of anyone being above him. But we mean to aim higher. For that we need good men and women. Men like you. Down with the oppressors, eat the rich, all that stuff. I like your gusto. Maybe you have what it takes. Or mayhap you don't. Either way, you'll have to pass the audition. You'll want to see the table, prove you're worth our while. The only question is, since this is about a patch ago, I'm wondering if maybe I should use something with outdated gear to intentionally make it last a while. One of our own standing by the gold court, show him the handbill and he'll lead you where you need to go. I admit I'm wondering if I should gear up some of the old stuff using, Honestly, I'm kind of speaking of which, of content, I'm kind of debating with myself whether what exactly I'd like to do with the, which gear set to buy from, Occult Crescent. I'm not sure if I'm going to be getting all of it. I mean, as much as I said I'd like to max out all the jobs, I have to realistically look at it one step at a time. I'm probably not going to, but I can at least get one full set. But, like, if I do Fork Tower, I'm probably going to want to go as my main, or as a tank. Meanwhile, I'm mostly doing Red Mage entirely because that allows me DPS while also reviving people who die. Once I get the Dead Man's Tale achievement, I might not even use it as much, so... Big if there. And, of course, Glam Fodder. Although I'm not sure how much I glam most of it. Last time you did see me get the, classless set, and I do think that was a good one because that one, first of all, that works with any outfit, and also, it, yeah, I don't have to choose which job I want to give it. Plus, it was pretty cheap, and also I don't have to choose what job to give it to. But here, I'll have to think about it. Unbound agent, eh? Now, this could be a trick. Then again, perhaps I should... A Gunbreaker means I'll never die, but he'll also have a difficult time him killing me. Well, actually, I'm probably not going to die, period, in these, so... Yeah, I should probably do more Blue Mage stuff one day, if only because I might as well max everything, you know? I just realized how weird it probably looks with Reaper being in a military uniform, and yet he thinks... I need something inconspicuous. Actually, maybe Samurai might not be half bad. I'm not over-geared because I only have eye level 100 on everything. Yeah, so I think this might be good. It might be too weak, but honestly that might make it better. What do you want? Unbound agent. Audition handbill. Written in simple font, are you frustrated, tired of feeling like the boot ever on your neck? Join us and win back your freedom. We invite seasoned villains and fledgling probates to attend our handbill. So you wish to lead others upon the passage, huh? You're welcome to try, but be fair warning, this is the hardest trial you'll ever have to endure. Are your loins properly girded? The enthusiasm will take you far. Now follow me. Alright, as long as we don't have as long as the trial is just combat, it should be easy. However, if it requires a Captain Ginyu-style pose-off, I might be in trouble. The audition will be held, even those the blackest hearts have balked at what we have put our leaders through. So it'll be listening to your progress with great interest. Enter. If this is someone who recognizes me and I recognize them, this will be very awkward. A Garlean outfit? Can you hear it? The cry of a child, too young to know fear. Can you see it? A blackbird in flight, its wings staining the azure skies. Can you feel it? The shape of the world as it should be, molded by hands free of fetters. The passage to new morrow lies before you. Passage of the Unbound. They're all pointing different directions. Also, that is a painting in the back, isn't it? Wow, talk about an ego. With that, let's begin the audition for a new round of leaders. May the selection committee take their seats. Oh, that Lalafell has meat sticks. Huh. You know what? I respect that he's having a snack. There she is. You look disappointed somehow. I understand. You expect to meet our founder. My apologies. You have to prove yourself ere you're granted such an audience. Did she plan that I might think that I might do this? Now tell us your name. The problem is my name is kind of well known. Let's be a bit coy here. Well, I need to... Can't be so... Well done. The passage of the Unbound works in the shadows, and our true names must remain hidden until the revelation can have the most dramatic impact. On to the next question. Why do you wish to join us? My friend joined us, I thought, why not? Well, I guess you could say I want to change the world. They seem to appreciate that sort of thing. If you truly desired that, you have done something noteworthy. We'd be ill-advised to recommend a novice for a position of leadership. Air about your ambitions. What can you do? I could take anyone in a fight. No one can craft and gather. I'm a devil. I'm Doman Mahjong. I've actually never played Doman Mahjong. Alright, let's provoke a fight. They're gonna test me on this, so I'd best be prepared. Anyone can fight. You know, we're trying to topple nations. Well, we don't need someone with muscles. We need someone who grasps the reins of leadership and lead us to victory. That's enough questions for now, methinks. Let's see if this one has the guts to stand against the entire nation. The traitorous cur sold us to our enemies. Chop off his head for us, shall you? Oh, what's wrong? Having second thoughts? Now, just because I take the weapon doesn't mean I have to do it. Actually, thinking about it, that knife is not going to be good for taking off a person's head. Frankly, even my anime samurai sword is going to be better for that. Not that I'll tell them that. Huh. I'm going to bluntly refuse this order. So you saw through our little ruse. How insightful. You played the traitor most convincingly, my boy, and now you may leave. Huh. I see. Everything's the opposite what you'd think. Let's see. Your final task? Strike a pose that captures your essence. Alright, they seem to like showing off. Oh crap! I said the Captain Ginyu one wouldn't be good. Capture beauty. They said they don't care for muscle, so let's care about style. Huh? You may have others who can match me in strength, but can you match in style? Oh my, such confidence, such grace, they quite literally emanate from you. I love that. I guess I should have had more faith in myself. I could be a member of the Ginyu Force if I wanted. I believe we're ready to make our decision. You truly are singular. upon other applicants. We can confidently say you passed the first audition. Even hard-boiled shot of nearly cracked under the pressure of our inquiries. But you remained composed throughout. Congratulations on your impressive feat. Honestly, this doesn't seem all that difficult, but I'm going to not tell them that. Our agent awaits you to guide on a next step. Gluttonous judge, irksome judge, loutish judge. I can see in your eyes you've been through more than I can imagine. Hold on to your anger and use that to bring tyrannical rulers down to earth. If you feel you've pulled the wool over our eyes, good. That just shows your capacity and ability, and be proud of it. Quite the selection of candidates this time, eh? I appreciate this particular judge. He knows what he likes and doesn't bother with. Once you leave, you'll be unable to return. All the Unbound, eh? You thought we'd welcome you into the fold after a single audition? I'll have you know our standards are higher than that. By the way, if you'd failed, I'd be guiding you to combat training right now. Can never have too much fodder for the cause, after all. Well, not many have been where you're going. But don't celebrate, the hardest part's yet to come. Picking up the torch. Imposing views is ready to share your next destination. You must endure one final test. Seeing as how important it is, our founder will be conducting it herself. She was here a moment ago, but something compelled her to leave for the desert. Always has she followed the slightest whim. Show some initiative and find her among the massive dunes. Don't be intimidated. If you truly intend to lead, fate arranged this meeting long ago. Yeah, this is cheap enough I can afford it. I'm actually surprised I made a decent amount at the Occult Crescent. Granted, not nearly as much. I did ask some there while it seemed that you could buy the carrots there for 10 times as much as the amount from the chest you can get. It didn't seem like a good way to make money, but they said that there's certain items there that are significantly easier, there's items with a good chance of something good in there, and also it happens to give you just enough for those job crystals. Interesting. All right. If anyone asks, I'm simply a swordsman from the East. Technically, it's not entirely wrong, since the story always begins with you arriving in Eorzea from some unknown place. And I figured since most Makoti are from the authored continent, the one that Stormblood takes place partially in, I figure I could just say my character's from there. Baby bun mushroom. Looks like a relic of some kind, isn't it? I need to see what it does before I go in. Odds are we're gonna have to fight her for it after all, and she's gonna use against us. Stop. Is that just how she calls her mount? Like when I use the whistle? Alright. Shake. Alright, so yeah, it is just her calling her mount. And spin. Now come. Our own pet graboid. Good boy, good boy. It works as well as I remembered. No beast is too great for this artifact's influence. What are you doing here? Some fancy strolls among nondescript sand dunes? Or is this not a chance encounter? I was sent here specifically to find you. Is that so? My underlings see potential in you, then? Ah. I wouldn't imagine she would have trouble recognizing me if she knows. Let us proceed straight to introductions, then. Remember my name, the architect of passage, Apiai. If you wish to be one of my chosen leaders, there's but one requirement: boundless charisma. Ah, crap, as samurai, that's my dump stat. Extraordinary strength and unparalleled intellect mean nothing if you lack charm. No one follows a bore. Yet when spoken to with the right tenor, even wicked words can resonate with small folk and rouse them to action. They'll gladly throw themselves into the thick of battle for the cause they believe in, our cause. I did well in forming my first cadre of leaders. Their absolute devotion, indulging their own desires, moved me to tears. But notice that she didn't care that every single one of them is lost. For all their faults, I wholeheartedly believe they are worthy of wielding the artifacts. Make me believe the same about you, and I'll gladly take you under my wing. Well, now is your chance to impress me. Tell me, what do you wish to gain by overthrowing nations of the world? You know, I never really thought about it. I mean, the revolution stuff was fun. I was really getting into that, but I never thought what I'd do after all that. Dot dot dot. Listen well, my dream has died in many a dream has died in silence. If you wish to see your desires realized, you must be bold in expressing them. For me, I want one thing: freedom. My village prospered amidst nature unrestrained, while those in it were bound by the rules of society. Our roles were determined at birth. Some would hunt, some would weave, but none were allowed to follow hearts. Obedience meant a life without hardship, yes, but I couldn't suffer the tasks burdened with. So in defiance of those stifling customs, I went to the forest to hunt, to return my village with prey mightier than any caught before. For this I was rewarded with exile. Yet my banishment was a blessing in disguise, for it helped me realize I could survive, thrive, unbound by rules. You know, Valerie and Kingmaker had a similar story to this, except with her, she found a better purpose in life. I also understood many like-minded souls yet suffered under subjugation of state. I resolved to become an example they could follow, to build a passage that would guide them to freedom. Oh, maybe I should have been making a Metal Gear Rising reference, actually. But enough about myself. There's something I wish to see. Follow me, but be wary of the beasts that infest these sands. Yeah, that's level 50. That's a hunt target. I don't want to mess... If they're not rank B or lower, I don't like to mess with hunt targets because that ruins hunt trains, and those are kind of nice. As I said, beasts abound in these parts. I could kill them myself, but this presents an opportunity. Let's commence with a practical exam. Defeat these creatures by whatever means at your disposal. Haha. Wow, it died to the initial hit of the dot. Not the dot itself, just the one applying it. That was a fine show of strength. Fine enough to impress the meek into following you, I dare say. Now follow me. We're not far now. Yeah, I'm never gonna take Chitin off my bar. I mean, maybe I'll remove Merciful Eyes since Tagetsu is the upgrade for that, but yeah, I miss Chitin. I get why. I mean, a lot of Samurai's damage was heavily reliant on whether their big nuke attack, whether the big nuke attack crit or not, but... Here we are. There seems to be nothing here. I've heard the stars are breathtaking from this vantage. In Ulda, they charge you to view the sky from places like this, as if there weren't enough hands grasping coin purses. Let us wait and see if the stories are true. Huh. Indeed, it's every bit as beautiful as they say. It was a worthwhile trek, wouldn't you agree? The light from those stars traveled all the way to from the edge of the firmament, obstructed by nothing in their journey, free. I believe people have the same capacity, each of us a star unto ourselves, the light of our lives illuminating the furthest reaches of the heavens. Ah yes, you've passed, by the way. I knew I wanted you with me as soon as our first meeting. Friends and allies gravitate towards you, don't they? I can tell. To honor our introduction to my inner circle, I shall reward you with artifacted power unequaled. Huh. That. Which is what I like to say. Unfortunately, my stock of magical objects has been depleted as of late. Oh. Aw. Well, I get it. Oh, are you truly so crestfallen? I cannot fault you for staying true to your ambitions. This artifact wielded by the previous cadre was purloined from across the continent of Tyrol, where they were enshrined as artifacts of great power. Alas, we have greater need of them. Mine, however, came into my possession long before that. After I was exiled, I traveled the world to seek a place truly free. Disillusioned with every nation I set foot in, I eventually crossed the ocean to Tyrol. In the remote outskirts, I came across the ancient forgotten ruins, and within I encountered the spirit of the Akoi, who called himself the Wise One. Oh no, I'm getting Golden Sun flashbacks. Though only so many, because I've actually only played the first one. I was hesitant to play the second one, since I was told it on a massive cliffhanger, and then... You know how Silk Song, before it... At time of streaming, it's already come out, but for years, people memed on how everyone said, Silk Song's gonna be confirmed. It's absolutely gotta be confirmed for each and every year until the year it finally came out. That was Golden Sun for a while, where every E3 or whatever announcement would always be, this is it, this is where it's Golden Sun 3 is going to be announced, absolute. And of course, it eventually came out, though sadly, unlike Silk Song, this story does not have a happy ending, since Golden Sun 3 Dark Dawn did not go over very well. Again, I've never played, so I cannot give an opinion one way or another. I just know that's how the story went. I asked the Wise One where I might find freedom, and he told me his story. Ahem. When I yet lived, my people ventured to Zuctarol, but before we could settle there, a terrible sickness struck, and one by one, many lost their lives. I sought a way to conquer this affliction, crafting an instrument that could harness the power of mighty beasts, thus the first treasure created. Alas, I was too late to save my brethren, yet I knew I could save others from our fate, so I traveled the land, bestowing treasures from unstruggling... Ah, so this is the uniting piece of all of them. I wish to create a balance where a place where people bereft of home can live as they wish. Such a treasure would help me realize this dream. Your conviction is plain to see. 5 treasures I bequeathed, but there is one which remains sealed away. Its power is far too dangerous. My conviction means I can wield it responsibly. I beg you, bestow the treasure upon me. My words must have swayed him, because his final act was to honor me with the relic before disappearing. Maybe it wasn't. I will use the power to entrust to me to shatter the rules that stifle us. That's why I created Passage of the Unbound. And now you're one of its leaders. Stand by my side, and together we shall release the people of the world from their chains. The JoJo pose. Well, Captain Ginyu would absolutely have a pose like that. Let's not even pretend otherwise. Ooh, that's a pretty view. I did not initially intend to spend so much time in the wastes. Do ensure you master that pose I showed you. Although I've only recently invented it, I expect every member capable of striking it at a moment's notice. With that, I cordially welcome you to Passage of the Unbound. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. You've learned the pose of the Unbound. Captain Ginyu would be proud. Enforcing freedom. Ooh, yeah, that's an ominous title, isn't it? You can sense a plot from behind her mischievous eyes. Now that the night sky has energized us, it's time to take action. Our goal is no less than to see every nation of the world crumble, yet we must start somewhere. I was struck by how much has changed during my recent visit to Tyrol, when I gathered my first group of leaders. At the time I encountered the Rise One, no ruler had united the continent. Uncertainty was in the air, but so was the scent of freedom. Ah, so this had to have been over 80 years ago. This makes sense, and Shadowbringers, they do confirm that the Vera have long lives. Probably not quite as long as the elves, but, the Elizin, but still. I've never seen a place like it. So much did it intrigue me that I adopted the Shitona name for myself. Yet now that same freedom I found is so appealing is bound to the restrictions of the state, and each time that passes, those bonds grow tighter. That's why our first course of action should be to return Tyrol what it was, to eliminate from the tyranny of Tirliolol. While my leaders were avatars of self-indulgence, they never quite grasped the concept of overthrowing a nation. It falls to us to set a precedent for future leaders. Go to Tyrol and get lay of the land. Venture to Shalawani and rendezvous with my enforcers. You may wait further orders there. Her scheme's been laid bare. You should bring this information. Well, at least I can... They're probably going to want me to turn against them immediately, which is a shame. It'd be nice to pull a James Bond and go, we've got our people everywhere, and then someone immediately in the room turns on them. That way they could go, when you say that, it's supposed to be a metaphor. It's not supposed to mean they are right there in the room with you. Oh, I know, for once I am referencing something that's not anime or Japanese in origin. Craziness, isn't it? Still, for all its flaws, I do enjoy Samurai still. It's just, with Reaper being the exact same, the same role, I can only really reasonably gear up one, so I had to choose. Coda, you returned. Were you able to track her down? Yeah, and her plans are laid bare here. I see, her methods of testing the mettle of her would-be leaders are as unique as the candidates themselves. Yet, learning that our next target is Tuliolol makes a sinking feeling in my stomach worse. Remember, this revelation doesn't come as a surprise, you see. We've heard whispers of a plot against the city and have been aiding the Landsguard in investigation leads. Yeah, remember, this is before the .3 patch, if I remember right. While you were abroad, some familiar faces showed up to lend a hand. Oh, speak of the Vidral. Oh, hey, everyone I helped previously. Or at least I'd assume so. I did like most of these, even if I was kind of, back and forth on some of them. Because like I said, the big thing is I can't tell how serious I'm supposed to take it. Like, the boss there did make a pretty interesting point of discussion, but to turn it into just overthrowing every nation is a little excessive. But then again, that's kind of the point, I'd imagine. When Brokuvu sent word you were meant to pursue Apiahi, we were eager to join the hunt, yet as we were arranging a ship to cross the ocean, we spied a suspicious group disembarking. We thought we might better aid you by tracking their movements. They came to be looking for work and obtained permission to travel to Shalawani. Yet upon arriving, they went to work of a different sort, asking anyone they could about Tyrol and the inner workings about government defenses. When not bothering the people of Shirani, they loaf around Waswawi. Yeah, the master of the tavern there said the group is spending long hours with other patrons, rarely ordering, going on about some plan. Clearly, their enforcers, Apiahi mentioned. We'll need to find out what they're planning and how our treasure fits in the picture. Then we can figure out how to stop them. Let's split up. If these enforcers are as talkative as they seem, they won't be hard to eavesdrop on. Let me help too. I have an idea what might make things easier. But of course, Coda... Yeah, those glasses were a wonderful addition. Oh, but of course, Coda, I hope you can oblige. I'm your man on the inside. Then it's settled. Us three will work on the nature of the treasure. Those link pearls should make it easier. I bought them from a foreign sailor. I knew they'd come in handy sooner rather than later. Alright, once we've discovered something, we'll meet you at the Aetheryte Plaza. Now then, follow me and I'll tell you about this little idea of mine. I still do like the scene where she discovered that the glasses were the key. Something that even the main character and possibly even the player would have taken for granted, it being something she's never heard of before. That was the game changer. What clever plan does she have in store? But like I said, But yeah, like I said, I liked how overall serious the story was, but then at the end it kind of went into goofy territory, which is was forced to think, was I not supposed to take it seriously? Like, the villain was directly stated to be mentally unstable. The game's words, not mine. He was needed to be saved before hurting himself and others, but then he just kind of gets defeated by someone staring at him intensely. Which is a shame, because other than that, I would have said that was my favorite. I have something that'll make our job easier. A dreamweave cocoon. The village elder understood how much it means to me to bring the Unbound to justice and trusted me to do so. You've met this person in the flesh, Ress? That means you can use the cocoon to imitate her. It can do that? I was ready to use stealth and deception, but this will make getting the information much easier. My thinking exactly, but it'll be all for nothing if she reaches them before we do, so we must make our way at once. Ah. Hutsatawi. Yeah, if you're having trouble, oh wait, what am I doing? The nice thing about Tyrol, as I keep saying, is that it connects to 4 out of the 6 main areas. I was even looking at doing the quests, the reputation quests in Yaktel, and I thought, wow, you can even see the airship from the way on the other side of the map. That's how well designed it is, but well, as mentioned, the story doesn't go through the Tyrol areas for very much at all after the main leveling areas. Because, let's see here. I guess we do go back to Shalawani, but that's also kind of Yaktarol. At Cosmouka, it's basically level 91 to 92 here, separated. So it's not like we go one area at a high level and another at a low level. Well, I guess the closest one to be there would Urkapaka, but Urkapaka is just level 90 and then 93 or 94. Yeah, it's 93 because that's when the trial was. And Yaktel is just 94 and 95. Again, huge split, but no much level here. And after that, you basically never go back here, which is honestly really disappointing. I get why the story is clearly focusing on the 9th net, and is confirmed that it will be for the remainder of the expansion, but so many areas we don't get to do much in aside from the side quests. Unbound Enforcer. Who are you? Leader? Who's leader? You know what? I don't give a damn. Get out of my sight. You probably don't even need that treasure to fool the underling. I've seen firsthand how skilled you are with the art of disguise. Alright, let me grab a sip of my drink real quick. Yeah, honestly, it's easy to tell this was Kuiki's relic was easily the hands-down best of them all because it gives you a near-flawless disguise. Your only flaw is trying to figure out how to handle it. The only flaw is being able to actually act the part. I took a peek inside and saw a few rough-looking types who didn't sound Tyroli gathered around Tables. Doubtless there are targets. There's no one fitting the description, so she probably hasn't arrived yet. This is our chance. We can hear everything out here, so we'll keep watch in case she does make an appearance. When she does, she'll call you Healing Pearl. Alright, take the Dreamweave Cocoon. Mind's Eye envision the Wicked Woman. What transformation entails. I feel pretty. Oh, I can't bring out her weapon. Looks like she's either a black mage or white mage, probably a white mage based on the fact this is made out of wood. It's not universal, but usually white mage staves are made out of wood and black mage staves are made out of metal. But again, there's exceptions on both sides. Oh, boss, you told us not to trust anyone, not even yourself. If you already think you are, do it with a pose. We all got sore arms practicing it so much. No one but you could strike a pose half as inspiring. We've been waiting, boss. You should probably find... Honestly, I'd give her points for being clever enough to say don't even trust her in case someone was doing exactly what I am. Now that you're here, that means it's time to mobilize, right? You remember what the plan is, right? Of course, boss, we each memorize a different part so we don't forget it. Launch our attack from the gates of Tuliolol. Cerulean barrels blow bits into a fantastic explosion. And Elaretti's concoction will give us the strength to crush the land guard like ants. A simple plan for simple villains. Keep pressing them for information, Coda. And how will my artifact aid you? And don't forget, how will my artifact aid you? Will you be having? Excuse me, we're in the middle of something. Remember, we have to be evil and not order anything. They'd know something was up if I immediately ordered something. Yeah, mind your business. We'll be moving along. Stop trying to bleed every coin we have. Coda, we see the real one approaching. We have to buy time. Keep the henchmen talking. A shame we don't have the sleeping artifact with us. That'd buy us a decent bit of time. You there, excuse me. I wouldn't go in there. The drinks are more water than spirits. Is that so? Well, good thing I'm not thirsty. The food's no good either. They've sold every last dish. And they have the gall to remain open. Greed rung amok indeed. Luckily, I wasn't planning to order anything. I'd rather die than become a paying customer. Have you no shame? There was something else? I didn't think there was. You were supposed to shore up our numbers, right? It said the artifact devours would give us an army. Did it? Coda, get out of there. She's coming in. Yes. Crap, someone fell asleep in front there. You'd think I'd be smart enough to know not to go out the front door where, you know, she's coming in. Oh no, I did. I left here. After all, she knows I should be here. Oh, you're already here. You moved quickly. Yeah, I've been waiting for you. Dang, that was actually pretty clever, transforming real quick. Oh, do I look like the wanted poster? I guess I would. Well, that means we can get started sooner. Once Tuliol succumbs to our wrath, together we shall celebrate the return of true liberty to Tyrol. Now, see to our preparations and join us upstairs, where we strike when I give the order. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I'm actually supposed to be here, so I have a bit of an out. She's even more devious than I imagined. I can scarcely wait to see her in shackles, but I know a hasty misstep can lead to ruin. That was close. I don't know what would have happened if we were to find out. We couldn't hear what you were saying while trying to distract Apahi. Is there anything? Did you get anything we can use? That's great. Tentoa and the others just arrived. Let's greet them. Lashkana. While we are somewhat unfamiliar with the world outside of Zoctaral, we were able to gather information that should be of use. Tebeki. I heard you transformed to Apiahi yourself. The varied powers of the treasures never cease to amaze. I wonder how the search went. The cocoon is safe with me. I guess it makes sense we'd give it back immediately. Our character will never overstay the welcome of artifacts like that. I've heard you ran to Apiahi. Tell us everything that happened. I see. Our plans to strike Tulioli from Shalawani's side. Then we can focus on our defenses here. You said our maiden spoke of an army being summoned by our treasures. That matches with the story we heard. It was told by us by one of the Vipers. We'd hope their expertise in tracking deadly beasts such as Dawntrail, the very source of the treasure's powers, might prove insight on the capabilities. Apparently, they've received reports that creatures across Tyrol are falling under the thrall of a Shitona woman. Even the most feral of beasts became a docile lamb. That's right, we saw it turn that graboid. Is it... I saw her command a massive worm. Well, we now know what our enemy is capable of. I've heard some animals hunt by hypnotizing their prey with sound, smell, or even magical energy. Perhaps Tyrol Vidral, whose essence lies in the treasure, is one of those. Perhaps the Tyrol Vidral, whose essence lies in the treasure, is one of those, but it's difficult to say which. Even so, we know Apiahi's plan and the threat we face. We can prepare for whatever she might throw at us. We'll cut off her advance at Zorgor the Boundless. It'll take everything we have to drive her back, but if we fight as one, neither her nor her beast will take a single step into Tuliolol. I'll stay here for a while and keep an eye on things. If Apiahi makes a move, I'll contact you right away. Can you tell Raul Mujin what we've learned? I'd like to be the man on the inside, but I suppose... So, like, they'll have chaos both inside and out, but I suppose it's more important we get a... Oh, I can just go right here. We're all Majin. She's bringing an army of beasts upon our doors with so little time to prepare, and if the treasure can bend ferocious beasts, we must consider the possibility it could be used on people as well. I'll bring this information to the Landsguard at once, and once they begin readying the city's defenses, I know neither you nor they will let a single citizen come to harm. This is it, Coda. With any luck, her and her cronies will be languishing in cells. Bar the passage. She has a nervous look in her eyes. You said Tentara was keeping watch in Hatsawa, right? I guess no news is good news. Appii and her minions are depart. It's time, everyone. Time to make our stand before the gates of Tuliolol. Nero was hoping she'd turn herself in. I suppose she'll have to be brought in by force. She might have that treasure, but she doesn't have her allies, and she certainly doesn't have you. Today we stop the Unbound, and tomorrow we come to the dawn free of her shadow. Welcome. Does any... confirm? Glad to share I can. Oh, I see. That's the recap if you need to, which makes sense. The role quests are always available at the expansion launch, but the master role quest like this one is always 1 or 2 patches later. Come to think of it, it might even be 2 patches ago. No, I was here during the 0.1 patch, so it would have definitely been here. Interesting. We got a fight in our hands. I can fight, but I have medicine at the ready. I'll help however I can. I saw the Unbound leave Hasadawi. They'll be here at any moment. If our guess about the treasure's power is correct, this won't be an easy fight. My bow will aim true, I promise you. Although the circumstances that brought us together were less than fortunate, I'm confident in that end we'll be the stronger for them. We won't allow passage of the Unbound to wreak havoc in Tuliolol. Today, Appii and our ilk will answer for their crimes. It caps at 7:30, huh? In that case, I actually probably could. That was the highest gear for the 0.1 patch. However, as you can see, I'm basically in extremely outdated gear. Everything is just 0.1. Why did I buy a Quetzalcoatl jacket out of nowhere? Well, no matter. The big thing is the weapon is behind, and that's a bit of a problem because things won't die quickly, but at the same time, maybe that's good. That means I'll have to actually do the mechanics. Yeah, because if I go with Reaper... the weapon's only 720, but that's a couple points higher. And everything is melded. Oh, I forgot to extract materia. Yeah, I gotta extract the materia regularly, can't forget that. Those sell pretty well if it's a good one, after all. If not, well, I guess I could sell it either to an NPC or to the Doman Reconstruction. You can genuinely make a lot of money from that. It basically doubles the NPC shop value, so those seemingly useless gold and silver coins can now be worth a decent bit. Red Mage. I could also go with Red Mage. After all, I've been playing it a good bit. I still remember the rotation, kind of. Although I suppose style can work for both Samurai and Red Mage. Again, I probably should be doing Reaper, but it's the most, like I said, I think it's actually straight up over-geared right now. Oh, I have more things that I can extract materia from. Gotta extract the materia from all these. Even though it capped at 730. Yeah, I'm completely materia melded. Ooh. I over-melded that by accident, apparently. Well, not the first time I've made that mistake, and it's unlikely to be the last. Because I need to pay closer attention. No idea why this one's a little weaker. Whatever. Alright. No, this is probably only going to be remotely challenging if I go with something undergeared, so Samurai it is. Then again, I don't remember most of the Samurai. Like, even back there, I forgot how to use Showa and Ishiku. And I very clearly could have made it a lot easier. Can only be executed in combat. It'd be fitting for me to be doing this in a different outfit to show it was in fact a disguise, but I guess I should probably make it in a way that is gonna be flashy and exciting. They're here. We knew we were coming. You and your gang of thugs won't go any further. So you've chosen to join the other sheep, have you? How disappointing. I offered you so much more than the life of a lapdog. I never intended to fight by your side. Of course you'd say that. You're Eorzea's savior, after all. She knew the whole time. I knew from the moment I saw you, and I suppose now you're asking yourself why I was so forthcoming with my plans. I wanted you to see what we fight for, to realize the true beauty of our freedom, and devote yourself in pursuit of our ally. Ah, alas. Your allies only follow you because the treasure has them in its thrall. No one would willingly follow such a reckless leader. Interesting, you think I have the power to command others against their will? Don't you? Oh, you're more foolish than I believed. I would never rob anyone of their freedom. She's gone? Not gone. Here. Look, beasts approach from the Tuliolin side. But how? We committed too heavily to this side, and now she strikes the blind spot. So she did plan for this. We must open the gate. Unless it's an illusion. The path to a new tomorrow lies before us. We need only be brave enough to walk it. Leave this to us. You go tend to the others. That baby bun. Is that the true her, and the other one is just an illusion, and the bunny girl's just an illusion? We have to take care of these beasts before going after her. Over here, Coda. Oh, wow. They're all illusions. Uncanny, because they are fakes. As I feared, my creatures cannot live up to the real thing. It can only make copies of those. How about this? I'm missing a single blow. No, I think not. Unfortunately, I can't protect others as this job. Attacking from above. Devious. Leave the skies to me. The rest of you focus the big one. Now that's satisfying. There we go. A tenacious lot, aren't you? I suppose I wouldn't want you to fall too quickly. Too many, but we will persevere. I can smother them in flames. Lend me your protection. Scheming, are we? Don't think I'll just allow you to do as you please. Excellent. No, my poor, pitiful pets. So I cannot rely on numbers alone. Keep them distracted, my darling. If I can't even target them, that means we'll be fine. You go after her. He needs help. Something a little different this time. Behold the fruits of my travels across Tyrol. Thanks for the help. Now let's catch her. The why. Don't think you've won yet. You're strong to be sure, but so is this. Don't hold back. My medicines will keep you upright. Curses. Limits are just more rules to be broken. Oh, this doesn't look good. Worry not. Get behind me and you'll be safe. Dirty slash. He's taking the brunt. You survived that? Thank you for keeping us safe. We've almost got her. Even bugs squirm before they die. This time I'll finish things. Shiny encouragement. Spurned on by heart. Alright, this last mid-air should finish it. I admit, I may have underestimated you lot. And while defeating you will be quite the feather to my cap, the gates of Tuliol are a much easier target. First, should make a run for it. Follow her, Coda. I'm not convinced she isn't actually that baby bun that's using Bunny Girl as a disguise. And I must say, if that's the case, they are very wise. No one would ever question the Bunny Girl being fake. Anything would obstruct the free world I aim to create will be destroyed. You know, I hope you are well aware I am literally holding back to make you actually be a challenge. Must you insist on being a thorn in my side? Very well, I shall plant the banner of evil upon the corpse of Eorzea's hero, and the meek shall flock to me. Make my fervent desire manifest. Grant me the power to seize on the undying freedom. The Architect, Abiai. It did specifically mention that she took a Shatona name, which would imply she isn't one. Unfortunately, even good things can be misguided into evil. Go forth, my prickly punisher, crush those who stop us. But my, what's this dreadful feeling? Perhaps I haven't been sleeping well as of late. My contender. Right, I can't forget the dot. Mold spores. spore stream. We are now a spore stream. I'm sure that can't possibly end badly. That was a little painful, but nothing I can't handle. I expected no less of you, but the farce ends here. Now smash him to a pulp, the filthy shackle. Ah, looks like they're back. I don't think so. So you find comfort and fellowship? At least this will save you the trouble of killing you one by one. This thing won't go down easy. It's getting even stronger. Repel the my contender's arms. Spoiling smash. Oh yeah, that's the kind of fun that Samurai built on. Nuke. Once my burst phase is up, you're gonna eat a lot. How can you stand before the treasure's might? Just what are you? Such power that'll be welcome within the passage of the Unbound. Ooh, flesh-boiling punishment lake. I should probably focus her in particular. Do not falter, my spiky soldier. Can you withstand this? You scurry about like rats. Pulverize them, my barbarian. Stay away from it. Flesh-boiling punishment lake. Oopsie. Oh, wow! Wow, I actually died! Well, I was hoping I'd actually have the possibility of it. Oops. Well, like I said, I was intentionally holding back specifically so I'd have the capability of losing. What fun would it be if I was Reaper here and she did like 2 damage with her ultimate? It'd be boring as hell, that's what. That's alright, I've got second wind to keep myself going. doing significantly worse this time around, I must notice. Oh well, this is why it's nice to bloodlet. Oh my. Oh right, I've got 3 vulnerability stacks. No wonder I'm made out of wet paper, huh? Impressive, I expect no less, but this farce ends here. How can you stand before the treasure's might? What are you? Someone you seem to be underestimating. I do like how one of them had the same idea I did of just firing. I'm not finished yet. I can replenish my ranks. No, even my spiny savior has fallen. Yeah. As Pathfinder Kingmaker showed, you always must go after the casters first, or it's gonna be just that much of a bigger problem. Hate to destroy a priceless artifact, but I suppose... Oh, the bun was the, baby bun was the artifact. That explains why everything was so spore-themed. It seems I must admit defeat. Yet know this, I do not believe the ideals for which I fought for was misguided. Well, no, the issue was you were... Think back on the leaders who came before you, those 5 self-serving souls who dared to live as they pleased. Each one the perfect image of liberty, yet ultimate perfection cannot be achieved without ultimate power. That's why we fought, why we become villains, to tear down the world's nations' stifling rules. The voiceless may speak again. What made you feel this way? Coda has told you, surely, yet the exile only then emboldened my hatred of meaningless restrictions, also led to my awakening. I couldn't have known true freedom without it. As I traveled the world, I noticed the same thing everywhere I went, that many were bound by the few. Gridania, citizens were discouraged from joining hands with their neighbors. In Ul'dah, merchants craft laws to extort control. Even in Limsa, once lawless pirates are made to bow to the state. Need I say more? The countless such guardians were tricked into sacrificing themselves when the church fanned those flames of war. The people of the East, whose entire lives were determined by outdated customs and mores. When I had to go west and find what I sought here in Tyrol, I live a life unbound. Or so I thought. After a terrible tragedy, I was forced to find a new home once again. Terrible? What do you mean? I can scarcely say it. I was asked to pay for my lodgings! Yeah. You mean you hadn't been paying for your rent this whole time? Why should I trade coin for a roof in my village? Charging for something so essential was unthinkable, so long as one followed the rules. First time since exile, I questioned my path. The night I convinced myself that taking care of my drunken sisters night after night wasn't so bad after all. Where the hell did you live again? No, it doesn't matter. Surely if you can accept trading labor for housing, you can understand the reasons behind trading coin for it. No, money's just another rule that's to control us, a rule I won't accept. Oh, you'd rather a bartering system? I was forced to live on the streets. In my tent I plotted. The rebellion would start with me, and the end of my authority in every nation in tatters. Yet day after day, long hours of sowing discontent, I vowed to return my tent gone. It stood a sign that said no vagrancy. Okay, that is actually making me laugh a bit. The last thing you owned was gone in an instant. I suppose I can understand how that would bother you. I can understand your perspective, Apiai, but a world where everyone did what they pleased would soon fall to chaos. Laws are the only things that keep us from that. And I know firsthand what it's like to be bound by old rules, rules whose purposes are sometimes baffling. But you don't have to follow them blindly. If you're dissatisfied, you can work to change them. What you speak of is not freedom, that's just straight up self-indulgence. I mean, does that sound so bad? Nah, messing around. If you're saying to change the law, if I change the law, I can do as I please. Not a word got through to her. Talking anymore would be a waste of breath. Time to put her in chains. This is all you're doing. It's time to join the rest of your minions. I won't resist, but this isn't over. Those who share my vision of the injustice will hear of this injustice and carry on my legacy. I certainly hope not. The passages of the Unbound shall remain open forevermore. Freedom that harms others is no freedom at all. Living in society has its challenges, but allows us to support each other as a group. I knew everyone who admired Eloredi would have twisted morals, but even so, I'm shocked at the depths of her depravity. Finally, the Unbound are in chains. Do you think Atoko would be proud of us? Of me? Judging by our forces mostly composed of wild beasts, I take it she couldn't send many of her henchmen to Tyrol. Perhaps Verazan's resources have finally run dry. Your bravery was inspiring, everyone. Apiai and is in the custody of the land's guard, the treasure destroyed. Without their leader and secret weapon, the Unbound may well and truly be finished. We should return and let them know to the restaurant and let them know of our victory here. Decidedly liberated pose. Well, I suppose it was all worth it for the JoJo pose. Somewhere from the Dragon Ball afterlife, Captain Ginyu looks down upon us and smiles. Well, you know, thinking about it, I probably could have made a lot more Elder Scrolls references when doing Pathfinder Kingmaker. I could have even quoted Dagathor while against the final boss. Why didn't I quote Dagathor? That would have been fun. Oh well. Good work bringing up value to justice. Any food and drink you want's on the house. Oh, you don't want me to... You won't want to say that to me, buddy, of all people. I heard about your battle with Passengers of the Unbound. Leave it to you to not only capture the leader, but do so without anyone coming to harm. By the way, mages from the Wing of Protection inspected the remains of the beasts. Their discoveries were surprising. They weren't actually individual organisms, but a collection of minute fungi that took the form of familiar creatures. The mages concluded the Troll of Vidral sealed in the treasure was likely once a fungi itself. This explains the sightings of her traveling with beasts of all sorts. She built an army by finding the fiercest creatures and recreating them with the treasure. But you stood against that army without shade of fear. As a token of gratitude, you welcome all the tacos to the house whenever you're in town. Speaking of which, I heard Tentawa and the others will soon be returning to their respective villages. Goodbyes are always bittersweet, but I'm sure they'd love to speak with you one last time. Sounds good to me. Because I died, I lost durability that otherwise never wouldn't have been lost. Honestly, I think that was a lot better for forcing me to lose and retry. It's one thing I've learned, people do seem to sometimes be entertained by a loss, and as our buddy Lantern King would say, it's no fun if there's no possibility of losing. This short time together was reminded you of Wilson and Zarek. I wonder how they fare. Perhaps I'll write them a letter and find out. It seems my parents fell in love with the tacos here while they waited for my return. I'm sure they'd be happy if I brought some home with me. Every time I come here, I'm amazed by the different kinds of people gathered. I wish there was a place like this in my village. I want to spend some time in Tuliola's markets before I go home. I've been thinking of a spare pair of spectacles might be a prudent purchase. I neglected to mention this earlier, but I was able to convince everyone back home to stop relying on the cradle. My sleepless days are over, but I've been busier than ever. I'm looking back to Ishgard's nights for inspiration on how to build solidarity among villagers. We train together and take turns on watch, among other things. Lozanakwi no longer has to spend her days abed and sometimes joins us in drills. I admit this new life wouldn't be the same without her, a new life for which we both owe you thanks. We'll keep striving for the example you've set for us. My people have accepted the fact we cannot always rely upon heart sting, and even now train to build our natural resistance to various toxins. We took some time to figure out the right amounts to use, and admit there's some close calls, but luckily, heart sting is at our disposal. Yet I believe our strength lies in the ability to conquer hardship. I hope one day we can trust our own abilities. That being said, it's been some time since I had a meal that wasn't laced with poison. I've forgotten how delicious food can be. During my time in Ishgard, I realized the cuisines of the world are as varied as the people. No doubt a prospect of discovering new delicacies adds excitement to travels. The others will gladly hear how the key of the Dreamweave cocoon was to our success. And it seems as though he has recognized you the moment you met. It didn't make a difference, did it? It just reaffirms to me you're more than earned your renown as a hero. I still aspire to become a hunter worthy of Ataka's legacy, and I know it'll take a lot of time and a lot of hard work. For now, I'll focus on keeping my village safe, but I won't stop there. Keep your ears to the ground, for someday you may hear Her tales of Kyuki, a hunter true. Everyone is so brave. My heart always starts pounding when the fighting begins, but I didn't need to worry. Since I'm here in Tuliyola, I'll visit the market before I return to village. Oh, and I almost forgot. Kakulja sent me a letter. He said the authorities have taken his circumstances and decided to be merciful. He'll be released soon, and as promised, my village will be the first place he visits. Everyone looking forward to greeting him with open arms. If he agrees to be our protector, then we can come to Tuliyola more often. I think the origin of the treasures lies with the Yokoi. To think the origins lies with the Yokoi, even with such dominating strength, they sought more than when their very survival is at stake. My people were afraid of the apex and sealed it away within our treasure. But over time, the treasure became feared as the beast within it. Thus, we never considered using it as a tool to us. I've been training hard. I hope one day I can help my people view the treasure from a new perspective. It might take a while, but we'll get there. I'm already stronger than last time we met, right? You don't have to answer, but trust me when I say we won't take the easy road like Verazon. With every bit of progress, we'll earn through hard work. On that note, as much as I'd like to stay, I suppose we all have homes waiting for us. Let's say our farewells to Brook. Oh, Brook farewells to Brookivu and Rawl. I'm glad you got to catch up with everyone. Shall we bring this party to a close, then? Sounds good to me. Be well, everyone. I'll bring Loznekwi next time. I want her to meet the people who helped us. Stop by the village if you're ever in the region. I'll treat you to a freshly hunted boar. Everyone go home safely. We'll meet again soon. I hope I was able to pay back the debt I owe you, if only a little. If you ever need help again, you know where to reach me. It was a long and trying road, but the treasures are finally back to their rightful places. And the pastures of the Unbound, and no one to lead their meager numbers will fade into obscurity. I'm sure we'll hear no more of them again. Here's the peace in Tuliyola. Unbound Rogan. Rules, basic social considerations, who needs them? Those pathetic bastards don't see the yokes around their necks. Do you see how nobly Apiahi thought? As long as I remember that sight, I'll never turn away from the path she showed us. It's up to us to continue what she started. We don't need those artifacts. We'll make a whole new kind of weapon. Pastures of the Unbound shall remain open, and we shall be there to guide those for it. There's more of you? Criminals over here! Run, we can't be caught here. A passage rebound. Alright, I need to remember that's for the relic. I can't do that one yet. Yeah, if you haven't been catching my stream in the, what's it called? In Occult Crescent, I've been slowly getting some Atmas. Very slowly. Some I care about more than others, but Oh, whatever. Well, may have embarrassed myself, but hopefully that was entertaining. It only took me using completely outdated gear on a job I don't really play very much. And, yeah, I kind of wish, yeah, I get the whole point. It was meant to be a bit more comedic, but I do think this final one at least kept the tone properly. But like I said, the main issue I had was that I couldn't tell if I was supposed to take it seriously or not, and while it did answer it now, it took a bit to get to that point. So... Alright, so that's going to be... Alright, well, that's going to be all for tonight, then. Until next time, thank you for watching, hope you had a good time, and I'll see you later.